Hello and welcome to this Minecraft tutorial with me, Groover. Now today what I have for you is the Iron CASSter 96, which is a 5-stage modular design iron farm. And when I say 5-stage and modular, what I mean is you start off with a single iron farm and you build on top of that single iron farm and you get a 16 village iron farm, and then you build on top of the 16 village and you get a 32, and then 64, then 96. So basically you start off with one basic build and you're always upgrading. So that's what I mean by modular, and this has got 96 villages in it. So that means it's going to produce 96 times more iron than a single village iron farm. So it's called the Iron CASSter with thanks to Cass over at the Mazuma Gaming channel. He always comments down in the description about new iron farm, should have called it the Iron CASSter. So I thought it was about time that an iron farm was made that actually suited his play style. Now, like I say, this is suitable to him because it's modular. You can upgrade it when you like, or you only build as much as you like. And I thought that was kind of fitting, and I think he kind of liked that idea as well. So this is very similar to a design which I showcased about 2 weeks ago, and it's almost exactly the same. I just had a couple of suggestions over by email from one person called Shinseru, and I'm going to put that up on the screen because I'm not sure if I'm butchering the name or not, but it's up on the screen now, and they suggested 3 changes. So let's just have a very quick look. Now this will have some slight different redstone as well. The redstone's really just the styling, but the changes that were suggested to me were kind of redstone and one mechanical change. So what we've got here is a slightly different timer to what went out in the showcase, and this is 120 game tick timer which Shinseru sent over to me, and it is absolutely perfect. I've implemented it ever so slightly differently to how they had it set up, and that is because I wanted the item to flow back and sort of react in a different way during the reset, and I also wanted to keep it kind of simple so it was obvious what was going on here. So that was the first change. Second change was they said, why not just have one piston up here? Because I had a piston, I had all sorts of stuff going on for no apparent reason, and as soon as I looked at it I thought, yeah, that's just silly. I've obviously got a little bit lost with my design. So the final change which they suggested was to change the spawning pads as well. Now this is the Panda 4994 spawning pad layout. It's a fraction better. They actually gave me some sort of statistics on the difference and all that kind of thing, and this is ever so slightly better than the design which was in there. Otherwise everything is exactly the same. So I think we've covered everything. Why don't we just go ahead and get straight into the tutorial? But first let's have a look at some of these golems burning. Right, let's get started with the Iron CASSter 1. Now the first thing that I always advise with iron farms is taking note of which way north is, because most of the iron farms that are worth building, you need to build it in a specific direction. And there's various reasons for that, but we won't go into that today. So make yourself a pole or take a reference so that you know which way north is. You need to know that. And I'm going to be referencing north, south, east and west a lot throughout the video. If your server doesn't actually give you those kinds of bits of information like mine doesn't, then you can work out which way north and south are from the sun. Now the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So you can work it out from there. If it's rising in the east, then north is on your left. If it's getting towards the end of the day, then it's on your right. Okay, so basically we are just going to start off by building up a farm right here. Okay, I would advise building this above ground because it is going to be a very big build. If you're building it below ground, you're going to need a lot of space. Okay, so now that we've talked about the basics, let's get started. Now, you need to create a ring of 22 by 22, and I'm going to draw you out the pattern right now. And you just need to replicate this around in a 22 by 22 pattern. So I'm going to take that as my corner. This is going to be my first one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, at every stage of the build, double check your counting. Okay, so that is what we've now got. So on to the next stage, we want to put in some floors. Now if you're definitely going to be going on to build the 32 village version, don't put in the floors and don't put in the doors that we're going to put in now. Do put in the villagers, because they're going to only get a tiny change, but actually putting in the floors at this stage, if you're definitely going on to 32, is kind of pointless. Okay, so we're going to come in like that, and we're going to have a floor going across at this level that covers everything. Okay, and then we're going to have another one at this level, okay, that covers everything. Okay, so go ahead and do that. That's going to go corner to corner, and we're back in a moment. Right, so that is the 2 floors put in. You can have a quick look at that now. Now we're going to go ahead and put some water in. So again, for you guys who are doing the 32 village version plus, don't bother putting any water in. So we're going to come to the 3rd block from the end, and we're going to run that all the way to the 3rd block from the end at the other side. Like that. And then we're going to do the same again from there, all the way across to the same point at the other end. So you should now have something like this. Now we're going to go back to the corners. We're going to place a water source there, 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 and there. And then we're going to go down to the floor below. You can take out these blocks now and do exactly the same. Now the one thing that you can say about this particular design is it's a bit bigger than a standard single village farm. And there's various reasons for that, and you know, basically it's going to accommodate all of the villages in the later stages. Okay, so I went ahead and finished this off, and you can see that there, that's both layers, and I went underneath and I started to build up the drop chute. Now this is kind of obvious. We're going to make it really small because we're going to remove this later. So I literally came down underneath the chute and just built out this little shape right here. Okay, so next up, now that you've built this, we are going to put in some glass panels coming across the front, across the top like this. And they're going to go all the way across. Okay, so just 2 layers of them, like that. And then we're going to go out by 2 and then come around this side like that. Okay? And then down underneath here, we're going to go out, down and across. I'm doing all of this in glass so that you can clearly see what's going on. I say clearly, it's not that clear, but I think you get the idea. Now, at the front here, we're going to go across, and then I'm going to place in a water source right there, and that's going to push all my items to one end. And then I'm going to grab my hoppers and just pop it straight into a chest, because this is not going to be a hugely productive farm. This is a low efficiency farm. Okay, so just like that. Now we want to get back inside here, and we're going to place in a water source in one corner, doesn't matter which, and it's going to push all the golems forward, and they're going to get to here, and then we want them to burn. So we need to get some signs in this area here. So let's grab some signs, and then we're just going to go across like that. Okay, so that took 4 signs to fill that area. Then I'm just going to put in a lava bucket in one of the corners, doesn't matter which, and that's going to flow across. Now the golem's going to drop down. They're not going to land directly in the lava, but they're going to get pushed into the lava, which means that they're not going to do the bobbing up thing that you sometimes see when they sit in the lava and then their items get lost. So that's that done. That is our collection area. Very simple. No big problem. You can expand that as much as you want from down there, but that's your output hopper, and that can go to your storage. But again, this is temporary if we're building it up. Okay, this is the future groover coming back to make up for mistakes of the past. Now, these 2 panes here, you don't want those there because items can end up sitting on there and they'll despawn, and you do not want that because that'll be a waste of items, and you might as well do that on that side as well. Okay, so all your items are going to get pushed up here and not get stuck on any blocks. Okay, future groover out. Right, it's time to start putting some villagers in. So you're going to want to come over to the west side of the farm, and we're going to find the center point. So we're going to count in 11 from each end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, that lines up with the center. That's great. I'm going to assume that is correct because I've already checked it twice. So I know that the center line of the farm is right here. I'm just going to nip over here and do exactly the same thing on this side so that I know that it all lines up to that center line. Okay, now that we know where the center line is, I'm going to come over to the west side, and from the north side of the center line, I'm going to come down to here to this point, and I'm going to go out by 2 like that. And then I'm just going to build up a little 3 by 3 right here. And then I'm going to go down by 3 just to make up this little villager pod. And it's literally just going to have a little 2 by 1 gap in the middle, like that. Okay, and you can leave that open if you like. We're going to put some villagers in there in a moment. Now we're going to go over to the east side and do the same thing. Now we're going to find the north side of the center, come down to this block, we're going to go out by 2, break that, and then build up the 3 by 3 again. Right at this point, you're welcome to go ahead and get your villagers in there. I'm just going to go straight ahead and put 15 in each one. You can, if you want, just put 2 into each one and then give them a load of food like potatoes, and they should breed up to the relevant number of villagers. Okay, so 15 in each of the pods. And then cover it in and then go over to the other side. And we're just going to go down like that. Okay, great. So that is the villagers in place. So now we're going to put some doors in place. Now the easiest way to put the doors in place is to come down, stand on this level here, and just face straight down whilst facing the farm. So I'm just going to do a few in this direction. So like that, you face in the center of the farm. If you go around the corner, you want to do that. So you want to be facing the middle of the farm again. And you can just walk to your left and put doors down. And there we have it. That is the Iron CASSter 1 all finished. That should produce around about 40 ingots per hour. So it's pretty low production, but it should be enough to get enough iron to do some more things in a bit. Okay, so now that we've finished the Iron CASSter 1, we're going to upgrade it to the Iron CASSter 16. Now the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove all of these doors. Now, just before you worry about it, I've just duplicated this build from over there to over here, and that one's okay, it's not in range, and I've removed the villagers. So you're not going to get any interruption from that, because there's no villagers to register the doors. So that's all good. So first things first, remove all of these doors, collect them up, you're going to use them in a bit. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to come over to the west wing here and I'm going to find this center line that I'd marked out. And on the south side of the center line, I'm going to come out by 4, exactly like that. So you're going to have an air gap there of 1, and then you're going to come out by 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'm going to go up like that. And then I'm going to come out by another 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then finally, another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, get the gist of that. Now next is we're going to go down by 1, 2, 3, take those back out. 1, 2, 3, take those back out. 1, 2, 3, and take those back out. So we're going to have layers at these levels. And then I'm going to come out by 1, 2, 3 on each of those, so it matches up to the top one. I'm going to come out again to there on that one, but I'm going to knock that one back out. So that's what we should have. That equates to 11 spaces for doors. So doors are going to go on all of these. That's 3 plus 4 plus 4 is 11 doors. Okay. Now we want to extend this to be the full 16 wide, because this is going to be one half of the village and the other half of each village is going to be over there. So we're going to make this 16 wide. So because I came out on the center line on the south side, I can go out an extra 7 in this direction. So this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's going to make up 8 altogether. Nearly. Always check your measurements. Always check your measurements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that needs to be 8 long, and then on this side another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 16, and it is exactly centered on our center line right there. Okay, and now we need to make this the same all the way across here, but at the same time we need to do exactly the same over here. So let's just quickly go through that again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up, and then we're going to go out by 2, 3, 4 like that. That one comes back out, and then we're going to go out by another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to come down on the back side this time, going 1, 2, 3, take those out. 1, 2, 3, take those out. 1, 2, 3, take those out. Now again, the bottom one comes out by 3, the next one comes out by 4, and then the next one comes out by 4. And then we need to spread that out to be 16 long. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then another 8 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, go ahead and fill that out so that you've got this pattern repeated all the way to the end there and all the way to the end there on both wings. Okay, go. Okay, so that is what you should now have. Okay, and we're going to stand here for a second so you can have a look at that, make sure you got the same. So it goes 3, 4, 4, 4, and then you've got these extra bits on top of the wing and a reflection on the other side, an exact reflection. Okay, now these are definitely 16 long, and we need to make sure that the villagers are in this position. So the top of their head would slide underneath this block here, so they'd be able to walk onto there and back, no problem. Not that we're going to have them do that, but it's a good idea if you just double check that they could, hypothetically. Right, now that we've done some doors, we're going to make some more space for more doors. Now, I'm sorry for the block choices, but these blocks are really easy to count for you guys. Looking at the video, it's very straightforward. So we're going to come down to this middle level here, and we're going to go out 9 blocks. Now, the first 8 blocks are just temporary. The 9th block is the keeper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to take out those 8. And you see where I took it from? I took it from the second block from the back. Okay. And then we're going to go back from there by 2. And then we're going to have a gap of 1. And then we're going to go 4, 2, 3, 4. And then a gap of 1. And then another 4, 2, 3, 4. And then a gap of 2. And then 1, and then a gap of 3, and then 1, and then a gap of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then get rid of the middle 4. Okay, so that's what you should have. It goes 2 gap, 4 gap, 4 gap of 2, 1 gap of 3, 1 gap of 4. Okay, and that is the 9th block out from here. And then we go and do exactly the same on this side here. So I should make it clear, this is the west wing. We're doing this on the west wing, not the east wing. So again, middle there, we're going to come out by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Going to take out those 8. And then we're going to go 2, gap of 1, then 4, 2, 3, 4. Gap of 1, then 4, 2, 3, 4. Gap of 2, then 1, gap of 3, then 1, and then a gap of 4 and 1. Now that should marry up exactly what's on the other side. So it should look exactly the same like that. And all of these are going to have doors on. Now, initially, we're going to add some sticks at the back like this. And this is to make sure that we are validating the doors. Now, if you're building this underground, just imagine that each of these sticks is where you need to get light access to. If you got rid of the sticks and created light access to that point, then it would work. And that is only if you're building underground. Okay, I'll try and explain a little bit more about that later. But there we go, we're going to do that and we do the same on the other side. Right, so this is what you should now have. And this is on the west wing. Now we're going to continue on the west wing and build out the far west satellite. So we're going to, first of all, get the center line reorganized. So we know the center line is right there. We're going to do exactly the same at the back of the wing here so that we know where the center is. And I'm going to go over and do the same on the other wing so that I've got that for later. So just like that. Okay. Now on the north side of the center line, on the middle there, which is right here, we're going to go out 48 blocks. Now the first 47 are temporary. I'd leave them there if you like. They're basically just going to help you get back and forth a little bit. So we're going to go out 48 blocks. The first 47 are temporary. So, okay, so that is 48 blocks long. Now to be clear, this is block number 1. And it is on the south or the north side of the center line. Okay, coming out from the middle there. Okay, and that's block number 1 right there. And this is block number 48. Okay, and from this, I'm going to go south by 1 block. And then I'm going to go up like this to build the stick, because this is where 2 doors are going to go. Now from this point we're going to go out another 31 blocks in this direction towards the west. So this is block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that is where we are. This is block number 31 and that was block number 1. Okay, so again on this one I'm just going to build up a little stick behind it. So that is the door placement in the west all organised. Now we're going to head over to the east and organise the door placement there. Right, so coming over to the east side, we're going to go to the north block on the east side, on the middle row again, same as we did over there, and we're going to go out 49 blocks. Now 48 of those blocks are temporary, the 49th is the one that we want. So starting off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the 49th block right there. I'm just going to double check that measurement. Perfect, that is 49 blocks. Now from here we're going to go out by 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And then we're going to go 4 either side. So this is going to be a 9 long section. Just like that. Okay, and then at the back we're going to go up by 2 like that. And there we go, that is the east satellite done. Now next up is we want to get the locations for some villages organised. So we've already got the villages in the centre. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this down to make it 11 long, including those 4. So we're going to add 7 to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to turn that into a little ring, like this. And then I'm going to get the slime, which I don't have in my hotbars, so let's find it. Slime. And we're just going to place that in right there. Okay, and then we're going to fill up that tube and just turn it into a village tube, ready for them to bounce up and down. Now, the thing that we want to check here is, if I come out by 1 there, and then I go up by 3, that's the position that it should be in, okay? Just showing you exactly what height this bottom level should be in, because that is important. Okay, so fill this up and turn it into a 11 tall tube. And whilst you're at it, you might as well go ahead and do the other side exactly the same. Right, so that is what you should now have. You should have your villagers like that. What we're going to do is we're just going to reach in here, we're going to break that block below the villagers' feet, and they're going to drop down. And then we can replace that. And then from here, the same block that we just replaced, we can come out by 3 blocks. And the same there, and the same there. We can add a little star shape like that. And then we'll leave it at that for the moment. We can take that block out and then we'll go and do the other side as well. So we're going to reach in there, break that block, replace it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and up like that. Right, so we're going to break that block again and we're going to put a water source in there. Now what you should see is the villagers are going to float right up this thing really quickly. And they've got a little air gap at the top, so they're not going to suffocate, and they basically just bob round at the top. So that's the general idea with this. Now, whilst we're here, we might as well do a tiny bit of the redstone in. We're going to place a piston there, a sticky piston right there, and we're going to place some glass on that there. Okay. And then we can place a bit of glass right there as well, just to cover that over. And then we can do the same on the other side. So basically these 2 villager pods need to be exactly the same. And I should say that we're doing this extension out towards the south, because this is where the brain's going to go. So again, back in here, we're going to get a sticky piston, and we're going to put it there. We're going to put a piece of glass there. We're going to get some water into there, and another piece of glass there. Okay, so when that gets powered, it's going to cut off the water, the villagers are going to drop down, they're going to bounce on the slime for a few seconds but settle at the bottom. Okay, so now that we've done a little bit of the villager organising in the middle there, we're going to do some of the villager organising out on these areas and on the other satellites, so that we get all the villagers where we want them to be. So first things first, we're going to come to this block here and we're going to go down by 4 blocks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. The first 3 can go away. And these are temporary blocks as well. We're going to just get the position where the village is going to go organized. So this is block 1, and we need to go 17 in that direction. Okay, so from there, this is block 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 17. Okay, again, double check everything. Now, why are we going 17 blocks in this direction? Well, the villager can see 17 or 16 blocks in each direction from the northwest corner of the block that he stood on. So if the villager is stood on top of there and he gets pushed up by one, because at the moment he's out of range of those doors, if he gets pushed up by one, then he can see all those doors. So that's what we're trying to achieve. Now, I've checked the distances here. That's correct. Okay, so underneath that, you need to go down by 2 blocks. 1, 2. We're going to put a sticky piston on that one. And that goes right there, facing up. And then underneath that, we go down by another 2, take that one out, and another 2 and take that one out. And then we can go for a torch on top of that and a torch on top of that. Now, if you get that there, that's because it's gone through a 0 tick thing, and basically you can grab it back down like that. Okay, so all these can now go. You don't need these anymore. Now, in this direction, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to go down by 4 blocks, take out those 3, and then we're going to go in this direction by 16. Okay, so this is 1, 2. Okay, so we've come out by 16 from this point, directly underneath that block there, in this direction, and that's towards the northeast from the west wing on the north side. If that doesn't make sense, have a look around, try and orientate yourself. So from here, we need to come back down here, and we're going to go across by 1 more block in that direction, and that's going to make these 2 villages aligned. And this is all to do with how much the villagers can see and in what directions, and it's a bit of a mess, but anyway, basically if you do this, you're fine, and it makes things a bit neater because they're aligned, even if they're not equally spaced from the farm. Now all of that can go. And then we need to do the same again as what we did over there. We're going to come down by 2, break that, come down by another 2, break that, come down by another 2, and break that. The piston goes right there. And then we're going to have a torch and a torch. Okay, perfect. Now, next up is we want to do something similar over here. But this particular one, we want to come over to the north side, right here. So this is the northwest corner, I guess. And we're going to go down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take out the first 3. And then we're going to go 17 into a southeast direction from there, including this one. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, that is 17 from there. And this is starting off directly underneath this block by 4. Okay, and then this is the block that we want, and we want to do the same here. We're going to go 1, 2, break, 1, 2, break, 1, 2, break. And then we're going to have a torch on there, a torch on there, and a sticky piston on there. Now, these can all go. Now, finally, we're going to head over and do the east villager. Okay, so we're now at the far east set of doors, or where the doors are going to be, and we're going to go to the back corner here where the doors are, not where the stick is. We're going to go down by 4 again, like we've been doing, and then we're going to go back out in this direction by 16. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then from that point, we're going to do the same as what we've been doing. We're going to go down by 2, break that, down by 2, break that, down by 2 and break that. And then we're going to get our torch, and we're going to go torch, torch, sticky piston. Okay. And then we can get rid of all of these. Okay, next up, we're going to put in the tubes that the villagers are going to go in. So from this point, we're going to go up by 7, including this block. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to do the same all the way around until we've got a nice long tube. Now we're making the tubes nice and long for lightning protection. Okay. So if you're ready for it, you might as well put a villager into this one. Doesn't matter if he takes a little bit of damage, he's going to be safe in the bottom there. And then we're going to get the slabs, and we're going to place some slabs on the top like that, just to prevent any spawns. Okay, and now you need to go and do the same for all of the other villager pods. Okay, so now that we're all done with that, I'm going to go over to the east wing, and I'm going to find this position. So it's the third block in, and it's the second block out. So that one right there, and I'm going to replace that with something that I can see easily from underneath. And at the same time, I'm going to place a torch on it. And then I'm going to go to the opposite position over here and do exactly the same thing. So third block in, second block out, like that, and then just place the torch on it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to grab my reset color line, and I'm going to go down underneath here by 1, 2 blocks, like that. And then down and out like that. So I'm going to place a torch on there. Okay, so that's what you've now got, and this is on the east wing. So from there, I'm going to go across by a few like this, and then just link it up to that piston. And then whilst I'm at it, I'm going to put some redstone dust on there. And then I'm going to grab a repeater and place it there. And I'm going to grab this line, and I'm going to draw it around really close to the farm. Exactly like this. And then just following this line all the way around until we reach there. And then we can do the same as what we did on the other side there, which is build a tiny little torch tower like that. And then we can have some redstone on here. I'm going to organize the redstone a little bit better a little bit later, but for now we can cover this, because we're going to use the power to define where blocks should be and where repeaters should be and all that kind of thing. So that'll become clear in a bit. So from there, we're going to come back around to this side and place a bit of redstone going in that direction. So what's going to happen is when this line gets powered, the water's going to go off, the villagers are going to drop, and a power line is going to go up to the top, and it's going to power the reset. Okay? So that is a good chunk of the reset organized. Right, so now we're going to do a little bit of the redstone on top of the wings. So we want to get our sticky pistons. I'm going to break that end block on the west wing, just this end block on the west wing. And then we're going to place sticky pistons here, facing this way. Whoops. So they're going to push these blocks when the time comes. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to go up by one there. We're going to get some slabs. And we're going to place that there, and then come all the way to the end with the slabs. So it's flush with the end. Now we can go over the top of that with redstone. And we're looking pretty good. Right, next up is I'm going to come out of here and just build up this little shape right here. So that to there, that to there, and that to there. I'm going to place a torch right there. And I'm going to have droppers facing into each other right here. I'm going to get some redstone dust there, and then I'm going to get a comparator on subtract there, and a comparator on subtract there. And then I'm going to put a normal comparator right there. Now that's powered all of these pistons, and what you need to do is make sure that it reaches all the way to the end, just like that. So I've got the special Lapis Demon resource pack, which shows you the power in the line. It's very, very good, and if you want it, you should definitely look out for it. Okay, so now we've got this line organized, we're going to fill this dropper right here, and that's the one next to the comparator, with junk. Now you can use full stacks of either 16 or 64. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use stacks of 64, but they have to be full stacks. No half stacks, no nearly full stacks, all full stacks. Okay, and that's going to power this. I mean, we'll show you how it works. I'm going to put that on top of there on 2 ticks. I'm going to get a solid block. Where's my blocks? A solid block right here. And then we can come off like this, like that. Get some redstone. 1, 2. And just to show you how it works, I'm just going to give this a quick reset, which is going to mean like that. So that holds that power. When I power this, it changes the power, and it's going to increase it by 1 each time it gets powered. So that way we can power this line as we like it, really. Okay, so coming back to here, I'm going to come out by here by 2 and then down by 1. And these are temporary, so it doesn't really matter too much what they are. They're going to come out when we build it up to the 32. And we want to put a repeater right there, redstone dust coming in like this, and then back to this torch. So when we press the reset line, this is going to get reset. It's going to get the full power back on there. Okay, and now we need to go over and do exactly the same on the other wing. So we're going to break the first block right there. This is diagonally opposite. We work on diagonals here, and then sticky piston, sticky piston. Okay, so now we're at this stage. I'm coming over to the south side of the farm, and I'm going to go over to the west side here. I'm going to take that back out, and I'm going to go back by 9, including this block. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then down and across like that, and this is going to go down by 13. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then down and across like that. Okay. I'll just stand back for a second so you can have a little look at that. And then from here, down here, we're going to go across by 8. So this is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then down by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to take out every one of those. And then we're going to have a repeater going into there. I'll show you that, show you this in a moment properly. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to have a repeater there and comparator there. Now this sort of forms the main part of the brain, and we're going to build it out by 2 blocks in each direction like that. And I'm just going to put some comparators on there so that it's kind of clear what's going on. Okay. Now this one, we're going to go up into a block like that, and then we're going to draw this all the way out in this direction. And this is going to connect up to the far villager in the far west. Okay, so that's how far you want it to go. And then we're going to go into that like that. And I'm just going to run redstone all the way over this line, all the way back to the middle. Whilst we're at it, we might as well put torches on the torch towers. So redstone there, into there, and then we're going to break every other one of these, and we're going to get our torch tower in place. Now there are lots of other ways to do this. You don't have to use torch towers. You can use a rising edge detector with observers and all that kind of thing, but I just thought this actually seemed like the easiest option for most people, because a lot of people know how to use torch towers. Very straightforward. So there you go, that's what it should look like. So that when that gets powered, all these torches are going to flip state, and then you're going to get power to here. Okay. Now one thing that we do need to do is we need to put in a pulse limiter. So let's do that now before we forget. So we're going to break that one there. Whoops. No. We're going to place sticky piston facing up like that, and then we're going to put in a repeater there on 2 ticks. Okay. So that's just going to make sure that we just get a short pulse, which is going to power this line and do everything that we need to do. Okay, so next up is we want to get power to these 2 villagers out here, if we can see them. So this guy and that one. So we might as well just go ahead and connect them up and just go like that, out like there, and then just pull it across. It's going to cross the line behind us in a second. Now, personally, I would just go up and over on this one. It's a little bit messy, but you know, it works, it does the job. Okay, and then we're just going to run this all the way over to the other villager. Like so. Now we can cover this entire line in redstone. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the brain and we're going to place in a couple of blocks like that, and we're going to come out by a couple there. And we're going to put redstone dust right there and a repeater right there. All right. And then this line we can just run directly across like this, and it's going to take us to connect up with the line that we've just put in. And then we can put redstone all the way back to that. Just like that. Right, for these final two comparators, what we're going to do is we're going to go up and across like this, and we're going to build this out a little bit as well. So build it out like that. Actually, one more. And we're going to go out by 2 there, and we're going to go here with redstone, and here with redstone. And then we're going to go repeater, 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 repeater. Okay, so that's going to make sure that when this one gets powered, this line is getting powered, and when that one gets powered, this line gets powered, and neither shall the two meet. Okay, so that's what you should now have. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this line here and we're going to drag it all the way out to the villager in the far east. There he is. And I'm just going to do that and across, and it should match up nicely. Now again, we're just going to put redstone dust all the way over this. You can claim some of it back later when we start tidying things up in terms of the redstone. Right, for this final redstone line, we're going to work from the east side at the top, and we're going to go backwards. So we want to take that back out, and we're going to come across by 4. So that's 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to cut back across like that, and we're going to go across from here by 8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go down by 16. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, now this seems like quite a lot of effort, but the thing is, in the next stage, we're going to save ourselves a lot of time by not having to move half of this stuff at all. So now we want to step this down by 4. So this is going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, like that. And then we should just be able to run this all the way back to the brain area, and it should match up nicely. Like this. And then we're just going to run that back to that repeater there, and we're going to go back over this and cover it all with redstone. All the way up to here, here, here. And now this is going to be a torch tower, so we're going to take out every other block. Like that. And we're going to put torches in. So 1, 2, whoops. So that's how it should go. And then we can run redstone from here all the way across to there. Okay, perfect. Right, next up is we want to start cleaning up some of this redstone that we've gone and put out everywhere, and it looks a bit messy because we haven't actually made sure it's going to reach all the way. So I'm just going to quickly lay a line of blocks right there, and I'm going to start off by putting a redstone torch right there. So that's going to be the line that's going to this far villager over there. And I'm going to take out, where it runs out, I'm going to take out 3, replace it with 2 blocks like that, and then a repeater. And this is going to save you a little bit of redstone dust along the way. So we're going to do the same again, and repeater. Then same again, and same again. Okay, so that reaches all the way, that's pushing the villager up. That's perfect. Now we're going to go back to the beginning. And then do the same, but this time we're going to move the torch along by 1. Now we want to make sure whilst we're doing this that only one line is getting lit up at a time. Over here you're going to get 2 lines lit up, but they're not going to reach all the way to the same things. So for this one, we're going to come to here again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for this third one, it's going to be a little bit different. So what you want to do is you want to have a look up top and see how many of these pistons are extended. So I've got 4 pistons extended at the moment. You might have one and you might have all of them. If you've got all of the pistons extended, then you just want to power this line for a second or two like that, and it should reset them all. Okay, so I've now got 0 pistons extended. We're going to come back down to the bottom here, move the torch along, and what we should have now is 1 piston extended because the power made it all the way. Okay, and you see that? That limited the pulse. Now, next one. So this one's a little bit different. Both lines are going to be powered, but only the line that we want to have powered is going to be powered the furthest distance, if that makes sense. So up to here, we'll just do it and then we'll show you in a moment exactly what I mean. So this is exactly the same as what we did before. There we go, perfect. Now back to the center, and when I move that over, you'll see that the power doesn't quite reach as far anymore, but it's going to reach a little bit further on this one. So we're doing the same again. We're going to do the repeaters and blocks things. Now on this one, we're going to take out that block right there, and we're going to put in a sticky piston and a block on top of it. So this is our pulse limiter again. So this is going to make sure that we only get a short pulse going up to the top. Now this should be fine. This will be powered enough. If you really want to check it, you can break that torch and you can see that the power goes all the way to the end. Another piston gets extended. So let's just prove that again. This is really the most difficult part of the entire build, guys. So if you're making it through this, the rest is very, very easy. So there we go. We've got 1 piston extended. Lovely. So we're coming back down to here to our pulse limiter, and we're going to put that on 2 ticks. Okay, so we've got 2 tick pulse limiter there, and we should have a 2 tick pulse limiter right here. Right, we're nearly done with this stage, and all we need to do is finish off building up this brain. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to extend this around like this. So that should be a 6x2 platform now. I'm going to place a hopper right there in this corner. That's just a temporary one, and we're going to have all of these hoppers feeding into it. Okay, so this is going to create a hopper loop. And the item's going to move like this, clockwise. Okay, now on top of that I'm going to place droppers because they reduce lag and stuff. Maybe I should fix those 3 end ones so that they're the same. Yeah, we can't have them facing the wrong way. And then we're going to cover all of this in redstone. But we're going to leave this back corner right here empty. Right, next up is we're going to come around to this side here where the back corner is. We're going to come out by 3, up by 1 and across by 1, like that. And we're going to have a comparator. We're then going to have redstone, and then we're going to have a repeater. And that's going to feed straight into a block like that. And then we can go up by 3 and take out those middle 2 blocks and place a dropper facing up and a dropper facing down. Okay. And then on top of that, we're going to have a observer, but we want it facing in this direction, like that. Okay, so next up is we're going to get the reset line organized a tiny bit. We're going to put this here, come back by 2 and up by 1. And then I'm just going to run this in this general direction for a little bit. But I don't want it to go underneath the farm. I just want to keep it around about here, really. It doesn't matter too much. We're going to do a little bit more work on that in a second or two. Okay, we're going to go beyond the observer by 1. And then we're going to go down and across. Like that. And then we're going to come forward by 3. 1, 2, 3, including the first block. And on the end of there, we're going to have a redstone torch. We're going to put redstone on all of this. And we're going to have a repeater right there. Okay, bit of redstone here as well. Okay, so to mix it up, we're going to go down here now. and we're going to place block there and then a block right there. We're going to have a repeater on 2 ticks and a torch right there. We want to get a sticky piston here, and we want to get an observer on there like this. Okay, so when that extends, that's going to create a pulse which is going to switch this off, and then the item's going to move around the loop. Right, next up is we're going to build up the timing circuit. So we're going to come down here, we're going to go across by 1, then up. Okay, and then we're going to go across from here by 3, and then 2, and then 2 like that, and then 3 like that. Okay, and then we're going to have another block right there. You can take that one out if you like, or leave it in, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to have a repeater there. We're going to have comparator there. We're going to have comparator, 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 comparator. This comparator needs to be on subtract, and then we're going to get some redstone, and we're going to go 1, 2 like that. We're going to have some redstone there, and redstone there and there. Now on this bit I'm going to get a comparator there, and then a torch there. Okay, and finally, to finish this one off, we need to put a block there with a bit of redstone right there. Now to show you how this works, I'm going to put one item in this bottom dropper like so, and you should see the decay happening, and that's a 120 game tick clock, and the item will get passed around there. Perfect timing. Okay, so now that we've got that, we're going to do a little bit more work on the reset timing thing. So we're going to have a torch there, and then we're going to go from here, the third one in, and come back and around like that. Okay, and then we're going to go across there with redstone. I'm going to put block right there, and then I'm going to put a repeater on 4 ticks right there. Okay, so when this is finished what it's doing, this torch is going to come on, and it's going to be powered permanently, and that's going to stop the item right there. And when I press the reset, the same thing's going to happen. The item's going to flow back to the beginning. So in this dropper now, we need to put 15 items. Actually, there we go, 15 ferns, that is perfect. And that is going to count out the 15 extra villages that we're going to put in, because we get 1 for free, because we took that block out and we took that block out. Okay, so we've got a free village in there. So coming back down to the bottom, I'm just going to put a single item into this loop, and I'm just going to watch it for a few moments. I want to make sure that it's moving around properly. So it's moved to position 1. See, great, we did that right. We need a repeater there. Let's move to position 2. Perfect. Position 3. Pretty sure I heard a piston run then. 4. That's that villager going up. And 5, that's that line getting powered. Perfect. And then it's going to pass by right down here. Whoops. It's going to pass by this comparator here, and it's going to send a power signal and push one item from the bottom dropper to the top dropper. Okay, so that's what all this is about. So next up is we're going to build up the reset. So we're going to put a piston there and an observer there. Now next we want to add a block right underneath there, so like that. And then we're going to be a little bit messy with this because I want it to go in a very particular way. So like that. So I'll take these out so you can see what I've done. So it's come out that way, across up like that. And then we're going to get a repeater right there, and then redstone dust on all of these. So what's going to happen is when I press the reset button, the item is going to move back to that position there because of this torch. And also this torch is going to be unpowered, which is going to allow the item to move back directly there really quickly. Right, finally, we just need to build up a little reset timer. So we haven't done anything on this top line yet. What we should do is come on to the center line right here. So this is the center line, and I can tell that because it's centrally aligned to that. And I'm going to go on the south side or the east side of the center line, and I'm going to place a torch right there. And I'm going to make sure that this reaches all the way to where I want it to reach. So that's perfect, because that's going to reach now. Let's see. So there you go, the villager's down the bottom, That's all off. That's been powered. All the pistons have retracted. Great. Let's go around the other side. So right here, I'm just going to do that same thing with the 3 block or the 2 blocks and the repeater in between. And that should do everything that I want it to do. Everything's retracted. Perfect. So we've now got a marker right here. Now from here, we're going to go down like that. We're going to knock that out. I'm going to put one there. And then I'm going to go like that. Okay, and then maybe down a little bit further, but we'll sort that out in a moment. So this is obviously going to be a torch tower. We're going to grab our torches and we're going to go there, 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 there. Okay, so naturally that is going to be unpowered. I'm going to place a torch on there, and then we're going to come out from here like this and go across by 3. Now this side of it you can build up a little bit because this is going to be where the reset button is going to be, so you're going to want to get access to this. Now on this side we're going to place in 2 redstone there and then a comparator like that. Going to go with a sticky piston right there. I'm going to grab myself a redstone block, which I don't have in my hotbar, and that is going to go there. And then on top of this, we're going to have hoppers, 2 hoppers facing into each other. And then I'm going to place a dropper on top of each of those just to try and reduce the lag fraction. And then this line can come back and just meet up with the piston arm right there. Okay, and then we're going to pull that across. And I can tell just by looking at that, that's not going to need any extra repeaters, that's not a problem. And then in this dropper, or this hopper, we're going to place 2.5 stacks of items. And then finally, we're going to get ourselves a button and place it on there. It doesn't matter which button, it can be stone or wood, it doesn't matter. Now, when I press this, this should count out a 1-minute timer. And it's going to go through the reset process. It's going to push all the items from the top dropper down into the bottom dropper. The item that's in this loop has been flowed back to the center, and it's going to hold everything for 1 minute. All the pistons are being reset, the villagers have dropped down. This is basically it, resetting right now. So yeah, I guess from here, we're pretty much done. We just need to add the doors in. So let's grab our doors. Where are they? Right here. And we want doors on these spaces here. Don't forget to face in to the stick at the back when you're placing the doors. And we're going to do the same on this side. Over in the west. Again, facing the stick at the back. Now the west wing and the east wing, what you're going to want to do is you need to add doors to all of these positions, and you want to be facing the center of the farm when you place them. Either facing to the center of the farm or you're back to the center of the farm, okay? Never facing sideways to the farm. And then you want to cover all of these spots here with doors. So you're going to want to do all 3 of those rows. All 3 of those rows. And then over here in the far east, we do the same again, facing the stick. We're going to place doors on all of this. And that is the 16 village version finished. So let's go down and give it a reset and make sure that we've got everything correct. Now you'll know that it's working if you start getting golems within a couple of minutes. You should start getting golems really quickly. So let's press the reset button. This takes around about 18 minutes to reset completely from pressing that button to it being completely finished, last village in place. Okay, so that is 16 villages done. I just spotted this little error here. You're going to want to place a solid block. Come on, Golem, die. Oh, look at this, they're queuing up to block me from placing a block there. Let's see if we can get it up between it dying. Yeah, that's the one. So you're going to want to place a solid block on either corner there just to make sure the items don't get stuck or anything. So that is the 16 village version all done. The golems should be coming pretty quickly. You should get around about 640 ingots per hour from this. So there we go. That is most of the work done. The rest of the upgrades are kind of simple. The next upgrade, the 32 upgrade, is the next biggest upgrade. And then after that, it really is very, very simple. We'll whip through the rest of it all the way up to the 96. Okay, so we're going to get started on the CASSter 32 version now. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we want to change over the spawning pads, because these are not going to be efficient enough for the large farm that we're going to build. So first things first, you want to clear out all of the water and stop the water from flowing, and then you might as well go ahead and fill in the 2 holes in the middle. So go for it. Okay, so now you should have something like this, and we're going to come over to the south side of the farm. I know that that's north for me, so because I've been cloning these in a further south direction. So you want to come over to the south side of the farm, and we're going to go 2, and then we're going to have 2 fence gates, 2, then 2 fence gates, then 2, then 2 fence gates, then 2, then 2 fence gates, and so on. Okay, and you need to repeat this all the way along. And then once you've got your fence gates in, you want to break the blocks below them as well. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a moment. So that is what you should now have. This far end line of fence gates you didn't actually need, so hopefully that's not a problem for you guys. Right, so what we need to do now is we're going to go over to the south side again, and we're going to put water all the way down that far side. Okay, so you can see the water's flowing in this direction. And then we're going to do the same with this one. And the same with the rest of them. Basically, you want the water all flowing towards the north. Right, so there we go. That's what we've got. Now we're going to go down below and we're going to lay this out in a particular way. So we're going to connect up these with some blocks there. You don't need to do this for all of them, but it's going to help you. I'm just going to put these in like that, and it's on the south side yet again. And we're going to start off with this kind of formation. So we've got a slab under our feet. We're going to have a slab on the upper half slab there, and a slab on the upper half slab there. Then we're going to have a water source there, and then we're going to have a slab there and a slab there. So the idea is that golems can spawn in on top of each slab. And on top of each slab, they are going to get pushed out by water. So if a golem spawns in there, it's got its feet there, it's got its torso there, it's got its head there, because it's 3 tall. And anywhere where it spawns in on any of these layers, it's going to get pushed out. So let's just build that out a little bit. And we'll just advance this a little bit more, and then you can go ahead and get on with it. So on this middle layer here, we're going to miss every other one. So this is what we're going to do. The next set of 2 is going to look like this. Okay, you get the pattern? We're going to repeat that all the way along, and whilst you're doing that, we might as well just finish this off as well whilst we're doing it. So we're going to have fence gate there and a fence gate there. We're going to take out these 2 blocks, and then we're going to put water at the back there and there. So that means that on any level, the golems are going to get pushed forward and pushed off. Now you can go ahead and repeat that all the way across, and then the same on all of these. Now the most important thing is to make sure that you're working from the south to the north, because you want the water flowing towards the north in every instance. If it's flowing to the south, golems are going to get stuck and you're going to have problems. Okay, so go ahead and do that. So about now, you're probably wondering what to do about the water that's going to be flowing out the back of these rows. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get the trapdoors and we're going to place them like this. Okay, so that they are in those positions. These are going to serve 2 purposes. They're going to stop the water from flowing back out, and they're going to stop the golems from flowing back out. So like 1 on each of the layers, like that. Okay, so that's what the trapdoor should look like. And when I go around to the other side here and I place in the water sources, let's just do this one real quick. Got to have them facing the right way. We can place the water in there and it's not going to flow out the back, and the trapdoors are going to stop the golems from flowing backwards as well. So hopefully you get the idea of what I'm talking about here, and you can go ahead and fill out everything like I've done. Okay, so that is what you should now have. You should have the water all flowing towards the north, and it should be laid out like this. Okay, trapdoors on the back, and then more fence gates on the front. Okay, so that's going to make sure the golems all flow out. Now, before you break these blocks at the bottom, we need to create a new catch tray that's going to catch all of the golems up and process them. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down like this, and we're going to stop right there, one block above that. So when that gets pushed up, it's not going to cause any problems. And then we're just going to create this loop around here, same as before, just as big, which is the 22 by 22. Going all the way around, and this is going to form the base layer for our farm. And this is where the golems are going to get caught up when they fall out from above, and they're going to come down and get pushed into some lava and get processed. So that's what I've now got. Now, next up, we need to do 3 things. We need to make this ring too high, like that, and we need to add slab in here. So the slabs from here to the other corner. Now, I've completely ignored going around the edge with the slabs. You don't need to do that. It's not required, and you're going to save a few slabs like this, and it's not going to interfere with that over there. So we need to do that. We need to raise this too high, and we need to clear this out of the area. So go for it, and we'll be back in a second to have a look at what we've got. Okay, so this is what we now have. So you need to choose which way you want the golems to flow. Now, I'd quite like to have the reset button and the place where I can watch the golems flow in all in one place. So on that side where you choose, we're going to knock these out again. Okay, so we've knocked those back out again. What we're going to do is we're going to come around here and we're going to go down by 2 and then just pull that all the way across to the other side and then do the same. Well, we can do this like this, that's not a big problem. And then I'm going to get some more blocks there and just come all the way across here. I'm going to take that one out for equality. And then we're going to put in 2 layers of glass panes. And that is going to run all the way across. Okay, so that's what we've got now. Now coming around the front, I'm just going to go across like this with some full blocks. I'm going to use the blocks that I've already got in place there. So that's going to there like that. I'm going around that corner there like that. And I'm going to place a block there and a block there. Now we're going to need signs to come across all the way across here to the other side. And we're going to put in some water down at the bottom there. So I'll just put in a bit of water at each end, and that should push the items towards the middle. And then in these 4 blocks, we can take those out and we put in our hoppers leading to our storage. Now for this, I'm just going to place in some really simple storage, just a few chests and some hoppers. So let's get those signs. That to there. And I'm just going to shift click these into place. Now personally, I always like to work from both sides towards the middle, just in case something goes wrong and I break one of the blocks that's holding all the signs, then I've only got half of the work to do. Now because this is kind of close to where we're going to be standing, I'm going to do the safe thing. I'm going to place a row of blocks right there, just to make sure that we don't fall in. Right, now, all the way along here, we need to add in lava. It doesn't have to be lava every single spot, but the lava that you do place needs to reach all the way from one end to the other. Okay? Right, now we want the golems to all flow in that direction towards the lava. Now I'm going to count back 7 from this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm just going to put pressure plates right here. Now this is going to stop the water flow. And then I'm going to count back another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And place more pressure plates here. And then that should leave us a bit of space at the back. Now we want to get the water again. And we're just going to run a complete row from one side to the other. And that's going to push the golems forward to these pressure plates. When they get to the pressure plates, they're going to get picked up by this row of water, which is going to push them even further forward. And then same again, and this is going to see them to the lava. Perfect, so they're going to get pushed into the lava, they're going to die, their items are going to fall down there, then they're going to get picked up by these hoppers, which I'm going to place in right now. Like I said, I'm just going to place in a really simple collection of hoppers, a very simple little system here. So let's go like that maybe. And there we go, that is the simple little collection area done. You can add filters, you can do whatever you want with this, but that's all that I'm doing for this. The rest is up to you guys, you can design it as you wish. Now, we need to find our lines, or we need to go back up top, I should say. Oh my goodness, it is very, very tight round here. So we need to go back up top, and we're going to drop down here, and we're going to break these 2 rows of slabs. So that when the golems get pushed off, they fall straight down into the water and they start getting pushed forward towards that lava. Now there we go, that is what you should have left. Now wherever the golem spawns, they should be pushed north by the water, and they should get pushed off like this and land down here. And because they're so big, they're going to get pushed into the water streams and pushed to the lava and then die and drop their good iron. Okay, so now that we've done the difficult bit, we need to do some of the easier stuff, and we need to extend these wings by 8. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. And then over to the other side. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. Okay. So you should see, you should have a little bit of clearance there. And we're going to extend each of these rows as well. So that one, that one, that one, that one. And you need to do the same over on the other side there, exactly the same. So these wings will now measure 32 long each. So 32 there, and all of the layers repeated. And if you want, you can go ahead and add a load of pistons in place as well, like that. And you can add the slabs in place as well. Don't do any of the redstone just yet. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Right, hopefully when you get to this stage and you get to the west wing, you'll be thinking, I know what to do here. But if you don't, what we're going to do is we're going to extend that by 8 and take out these sticks. So these sticks were there to create the validation. So it made the light on one side of the door lower than the other. Now we don't need them because we're going to use this roof to validate instead. So you can just take away the sticks there and just leave the doors. Okay, so now you start to see why we placed these doors so far out, and it was so it'd fit nice and flush up against this. Okay, so carry on, keep filling it in. And one more thing whilst we're talking, don't forget when you're placing the doors, either facing the farm or facing directly away. Never facing to the side of the farm. Okay? Okay, that is what you should now have. The wings have been filled out, they're both 32 long. They've got all the doors on, they're all done correctly. I've put pistons on all of the positions, and obviously the slabs. We can add the redstone over the top here now. And same on the other wing. Okay, so now that we've got to this stage, we're going to go over to the west wing and we're going to come down to the far end here, which is the far north side. And I'm going to take out this slab, this piston, and that block, because again, we're going to get a free village. This one is now its final position, so if you want to put some glass in there, go for it. And then we're going to go over and do the same thing on the east wing, but on the opposite corner. So this is on the south side of the east wing. There we go. Okay, so we get a free village every time we reset the farm. That means that as soon as the villagers come up, they see the doors, they register the doors, create a village straight away. Okay, so from here, I'm going to come back by 2, like that. I'm going to take out these 3 bits of redstone. In fact, whilst we're doing this, let's clear up all of this redstone. We're going to completely rework this bit. Like that. I'm going to leave this line here for now. I'm going to get myself the observer, and the observer is going to be facing this way, like that. So I've got 2 observers going into a repeater on 4 ticks. Now, the 4 ticks is important. Now, we're going to get 2 slabs there, an extra slab there, and an extra slab there. Then we're going to get a dropper there, and we're going to face a dropper into it. And then on here, we're going to get another dropper facing upwards. Doesn't really matter if it's facing any other way. And then we're going to fill that dropper with our junk. Full stacks, remember, full stacks. And then this dropper here, we're going to do exactly the same. Okay, comparator facing out of there on subtract, comparator facing out of there on subtract, redstone there and there. Okay, now next one, we're going to come all the way to the end and we're going to do something very similar, but we're not going to use the observers. So from this end piston here, and don't forget we're on the west wing, so just have a look around you, make sure you're on the right wing. On the west wing, end repeater, we're going to come out like that, and we're going to do the same again. So like that there, we can use 2 slabs on this end because we're not having any extra repeaters or anything. Dropper facing into each other, boom boom. And then we can put in a comparator there, both on subtract, dropper facing up, fill them with your junk. Full stacks, remember, there can be 16 stacks, so if you've got a lot of snow is great for this. Then I'm going to get my redstone there, and that's all on subtract. And now, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to give this a test. Before I go any further, I'm going to place a redstone torch there, so that's reset it. And now I want to get a redstone block and just place that in. I don't need hoppers for a while. Okay, so we're going to give this a test. Redstone block, we're going to place it there. Now that powers that to 15. Now I want to make sure that my power is going to reach all the way to the end, even on this slab that we haven't got anymore, because we're going to do the same pattern on the next layer. Okay, so I know that reaches, that's great. If it doesn't reach, then something's not quite right. So now that we've got those two set up, we just pick up a space in the middle and we build a third one. And it doesn't matter too much where in the middle, but I'm just going to say pick the 11th one in, because that's an easy number and it keeps it clear of everything. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there, we're going to place those two. Then we're going to get our observers, 2 observers facing this way. We're going to get our repeater and we're going to place that on 4 ticks again. And then we're going to get some redstone dust there and there. I'm going to get my comparators there and there. I'm going to place a dropper in here. And then I want a dropper facing out and a dropper facing in. Okay, fill that up with all my junk stuff again. And then there. Now don't forget to put these on subtract. And then we're there. Right, next up is we want to come ahead of this observer and to there, like that. And we're going to place in redstone, redstone, redstone. And then we're going to go to the end there and we're going to go 2 in front of that redstone there. And we're going to do redstone, 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 redstone. Okay? So that should mean that when I power this line here, I get a signal all the way to the end that's going to retract all of these pistons. Okay, so all of the pistons should get retracted by that. Right, next up is we want to go over and do the same thing on the other wing. So let's clear out the old redstone that was here. Gosh, a little bit of lag there. Then we're going to clean that up. So back to this point here, we're going to come back with 2 observers and then a repeater on 4 ticks. Then we're going to get 4 slabs like that. We're going to get droppers there, and then 1 facing out and 1 facing in, like that. We're going to have comparators there and there. Redstone, redstone. We're going to put those comparators on subtract, very important. Fill that up with your junk. again, full stacks. I'm going to keep on saying it, guys, because this is really important. If you don't do this right, then it's not going to work. Okay, so that's another one there. Now we're going to come all the way over to the end, and we're going to build up the same as we did on the other corner. We're just going to go out like that, and because we're at the very end of the line, it doesn't matter so much. We can build out like that there. I'm going to go a dropper facing out, a dropper facing in, comparator, comparator, subtract, subtract. Going to get my redstone, redstone there, get another dropper facing up there, going to fill it with my junk. And then we're going to come in 11 from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to get a slab right there and there. And then we're going to have our observers facing this way. Repeater behind them on 4 ticks. And then another couple of slabs there and there. Going to get our droppers facing up. One facing out. One facing back in. Comparators on subtract. Redstone there and there. Fill this up with your junk. Okay, and then same in this one. Right, now we're going to get our repeaters. We're going to put one there, which is 2 in front of the observer. Going to place dust there and there and there. And then coming down to the other side, dust, 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 dust. Then we're going to have a repeater there and dust. So again, I'm going to test this. I'm going to place a torch right here, and that should make all of the pistons retract. Okay, so finally, we just need to connect up this redstone to the brain. So we're going to go on top of this dropper here, 2 ticks, and we're going to go 2 ticks right there. Let's see, 2 ticks on that one, and then 2 ticks on that one. Now I'm going to break that, we're going to push it down to there, and we're going to have some redstone dust on that like that. Okay, these 4 can go. And we're going to pull this across like that, and then back up. And then down to the end, and then like that. Okay, so from this point, what we're going to do is we're going to have a block there, and we're going to have a block there. We're going to get our repeaters, and we're going to place one there and one there. I'm going to put redstone dust there, and then a block there and a block there. Okay, now this is kind of important stuff, because if we get this wrong, then it's all going to go a bit wrong. Okay, so that is what you should now have. Now I'm going to come over here, and we're going to go up by 3 blocks. We're going to take out those 2, and we're going to get our sticky piston facing down in there. Okay, now next up I'm going to go there with a block. We're going to get some slabs, and we're going to come out here by 2, there by 1, and then into that one, like that. That one can go away now. Now we're going to have redstone there, there, and there, and a repeater there. Okay? Now this block, we can put it into the correct position right now, like that. And once this line has been powered to a certain degree, it's going to push that block down, which is going to create a connection here. Now we can go through here with redstone all the way to there. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. Let's do that one more time. So I'm going to go up by 3, take out those 2, sticky piston there, block in there, there. And then I'm going to get my slabs, and we're going to come out there by 2, there by 1, break that, place that. And then we're going to have redstone there, there, and there. And then we're going to have a repeater on there. And that can go. Okay, so that's what you're aiming for, and we need to do the same thing on the other wing. So let's just go over and organize that. So first things first, we're going to pull that across to there like that, there. We're going to get a repeater onto there, on 2 ticks. Let's put all the repeaters on first, because that's an easy thing to forget, and it's going to be problematic if it's forgotten forever. Then we're going to get a block there, and a block there. Let's get some redstone on those 2. and then we're going to move this line across like this. And then we're going to connect those up to there and to there. Okay, then we're going to have a block there and there, and a repeater there. Again, block there, and a repeater there. Okay, let's connect this up with some redstone. And let's do the piston thing. So we're going to go up by 3, 1, 2, 3, take those 2 out. We're going to get a sticky piston in there, and then we're going to place the block on its face properly like that. And then we're going to come out there by 2, there by 1, and then across like that. Redstone, 1, 2, and 3, take that away, and then repeater there. Okay, and finally one more time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We're going to put a sticky piston in on there, that, and that, and that, and then slabs, we're going to come out 1, 2, 1, whoops, no, 1, and there. Okay, redstone, 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 and then repeater. Okay, so just before we finalize this and go give it a reset and make sure that we've got everything absolutely right, I'm just going to say, check that all of the pistons are contracted. Okay, because this very first time you might have had them out there and they may not have got pulled back by the sticky pistons. If they're not contracted, or if the blocks aren't stuck to the face of the piston, then just move them against the face, because when we do the reset, it's all going to sort itself out. Right, so finally, we're going to come down here, and we're going to add 16 items to that bottom dropper. And then we're going to press the reset button and cross our fingers. Right, that is the 32 village version finished. I just checked the data. This is all up and working correctly. You should have a golem down here at most times. This is going to produce around about 1,280 ingots per hour, and it'll take around about 35 to 40 minutes to reset. I'm going to put all the accurate times down in the description. I don't have them to hand right now, but I'm going to put those in the description for you, and then you can have a look at those properly. And these will be tested times it actually took for this to reset. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now it is time to upgrade to the 64 village version. Now, this is going to be much easier than all the other upgrades that we've done. So this is where we get onto the easy street part. We're going to come over to the east wing, and we're going to knock out this row of blocks. So not the blocks that the doors are stood on below, but the first skylight blocking set of blocks. Okay, and then, I don't know what happened here. Weird glitchiness. I just cloned it over, so it's probably something to do with that. Then we're going to place in some pistons all the way across. And it's going to start looking kind of familiar. You'll sort of get the idea very soon. And then we're going to put some blocks on there. Okay, then we're going to build out this by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to build that all the way across. And if it isn't already clear what we're doing, guys, we are going to just build another one of these right here. And we're just going to gap it by 1. So we want to put everything the same that's there, exactly the same, here. And we're talking about redstone and everything. So basically all of the redstone that's up here, all of these dropper repeater jobbies that we put in, need to be repeated over here exactly the same. Now you can run this line over there exactly the same. The only thing that you don't need to repeat is this coming up, the torch tower. So go ahead and repeat one of these with all the redstone that's on there right here. Okay, I'll show you exactly what I mean once I've done it. And if you're feeling really ambitious, do the same over there. It's really simple. If you get stuck, have a look at the one which you've already done. Right, hopefully you now have something like this, where you've got everything that's here The same there, and the same with the doors underneath. You've just got one gap there, and you'll find that this just fits in really neatly, and these blocks are going to get pushed underneath this line right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more redstone to this. First things first, we want to come over to here, and we want to get a repeater and face that into the place where the torch was on the other module. And then we're going to pull this all the way out around here. I'm just going to grab some black blocks because that is my reset line color. And then we're just going to pull that all the way from here with a redstone in this direction. And there. Okay. Now to make this easy, I'm going to get a spare torch. I'm going to place it there. I'm going to see how far the redstone line runs to. See, that's a little bit of an inconvenient place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place my little extenders here, and we're going to put a repeater in there, and then redstone, redstone, redstone. Yep, that reaches very, very nicely. So that's perfect. That's the reset organized. Now we need to go over and do the same on the other wing. So we're going to run redstone out from there. And we're going to get our black blocks again, because that is the color that I chose for my reset line. It can be any color block you like. It's just nice to keep things organized and keep it in your mind. Now, here again, where the torch should be, we're going to have a repeater on this one. And we're going to run the redstone back, all the way back and over. Now again, we're going to grab a torch, we're going to place it right there. I'm going to see how far it reaches. Yeah, not quite far enough, slightly inconvenient place. So we're going to place it there again. Now it looks like that reaches all the way. Good. So you heard some doors opening then, that means that the doors got powered and unpowered. You'll get a little bit of that with this. That's just the way it is. Okay, so now we've dealt with the reset line and we've extended that to deal with another layer. We're going to add a bit of more redstone so that when this 32 has finished, it's going to move on to the next 32. So I'm going to grab a redstone torch, place it there like that. Then I'm going to put a block on top of there, and then we're going to go with redstone there. Now this can just run all the way back over here. And it shouldn't interact with anything. There we go. We're just going to leave that there for now. We're going to get some redstone. I'm going to cover all of this with redstone. And we're going to do the same thing here. When the line runs out, we're going to extend it. Right, now on the end of this line, we're going to place a sticky piston facing down, and we're going to put a block on its face like that. We're going to then pull in this like this. If you haven't already got your repeater on there and your blocks like me, then make sure you've got those in place. And then we're going to do that. And to make sure that it definitely reaches, I'm going to place a repeater there. So what's going to happen is, once this first 32 has finished, this is going to unpower. The piston's going to retract. Then there's going to be a block to be powered by this repeater, and then it's going to start working on this row instead. Okay, pretty simple stuff really. Nothing overly special here. Right, now let's go over and do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to grab some orange blocks. We're going to go from the end like this up. So like I say, once the power gets to there, it's going to unpower this torch. And then this line is going to become unpowered, which is going to unpower the piston. And then it can move on to the next row. Oops, went a little bit too far there. All right, let's just get some redstone in on this. And again, we're going to replace where it runs out and extend it. Okay, perfect. Now from there, we're going to take our sticky piston, face it down, we're going to place a block on its face, and then we're going to come out from there like this. Oops, no, like this. Okay. And then we can take our redstone, put it into there, repeater there, and then we're going to pull this over in this direction by 2, and redstone, redstone. Okay, so that is all of the adjustments made. That was relatively painless. You've just sort of built exactly what you already know and copied what's already there. And now we just need to go and do the final stage, which is we're going to add in another 32 items. So we've now got 63 items. Like I said before, the first village is free. So that's going to give you 64 villages. And then we're going to go over and press the reset button. Now, as you can see here, I've replaced the button with a lever. And that is a hard off switch. If I have that powered, then this farm is off and we're getting 0 golems. And that is your choice. If you want to put a lever there, it's entirely up to you. For this tutorial, I'm using a lever because I need to switch this off whilst I'm building the next one along. So there we go. That is it. It's started up. The villagers are going up. They're landing in position. And we're off. So that is the 64 village version finished. You'll see there's a regular flow of iron coming down. We should get a regular flow of golems, sometimes more, sometimes less, but you should get around about 2,560 ingots per hour from that. Okay, so finally we're on to the 96 village version. Now, you remember that last step to go from the 32 to the 64? Basically do it exactly the same again. So we're going to take this middle row again, and we're going to repeat that here. And we're going to take the redstone that's here and repeat it here. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, there we go. That is the extra doors and the extra redstone done. Just a couple of pointers if you haven't noticed it before. Now, you need to extend this out as well. So when you're adding these things on, you need to add a new roof of 5 at the back each time. Okay? And over on this end, what you'll see is the first one has got glass in there. The other 2 do not. Now, make sure that you are following this principle. You don't want glass in all of them because otherwise that's not going to work. Right, so finally, we're just going to tie up the same as we did before with the redstone. And we're just going to extend our reset line to cover this last area. Now, let's see. I think I will go there with it. Yeah, I think that'll do. 1 and 2 and there and there. Okay, so that's that reset line done. Then we can go over to the west wing and do exactly the same. So we've got the redstone hanging off there. And then we're just going to extend that. Going to bring this redstone around that corner. And like that. And then a repeater. Okay, so that's going to make sure that everything gets reset. Then we're going to do the same as we did before over the top on this line. It's going to be ever so slightly different, but nothing really to think about because it's going to be a tiny bit further out. So like this, it's going to start from there instead. And we're going to put a torch there and then run this line all the way over to the beginning again. And we're going to redstone it up. Now, unfortunately, this means you're going to need an extra repeater to make sure that it reaches all the way. But, you know, that's no biggie. So, and then like that. And then I'm just going to place it there. Okay, and then we're going to get our sticky piston. We're going to face it down like that. And then we're going to have our line coming across like this. We're going to get some redstone dust right there, repeater right there, and a drop more dust right there. Okay, over to the other wing to do that as well. So again, we're going to start off over here. We're going to come off this end and go up by 1. We're going to grab a torch. We're going to place it on top, block on top of that, and then just run that all the way back to about there. Going to run a straight line across there. Redstone dust, repeater, sticky piston, And then we just need to get some power into this one. And there we go. That is 96 villages almost ready to go. We're going to give it another test. So we're going to come over to the area here, to the brain. We're going to add another 32 items into the bottom dropper. So we're now up to 95 items. And then finally, we're going to switch it back on and wait. Okay, so that is it, fully reset. And this is the 96 village version of the Iron CASSter. And this is going to give you around about 3,850 ingots per hour. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. But the rates are good. You're going to see golems coming through on this thing all the time. God, I've run out of space. And in that one as well. So there we go, there's 3 golems coming in. Basically, you're going to see a golem getting burnt all the time in this. So that's 96 villages, fully reset, all done, well done. Okay guys, that is it. You have made it to the end of the video. This has been an absolute marathon. We've gone through 5 tutorials in one, basically, from 1 village all the way up to 96. So well done for making it all the way there, and I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this tutorial, drop me a like, and if you want to see some more like this, drop me a subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye!